Something seems off about the Manhattan incident that happened a few days ago. Now, guys, the Manhattan incident, I'm talking about the active shooter situation that happened in Manhattan a few days ago, probably about a week ago now, where you had a shooter by the name of Shane Tamura, and he drove across country from Nevada all the way to New York in his recently bought BMW, used BMW, recently bought rifle, loaded handgun with, they said, 800 and something handgun rounds. I think it was 9mm rounds or whatever it was. And then he had a few rounds or a few mags for the rifle, the AR, whatever that he owned or just bought, excuse me. That rifle was tacked out. It looked like something out of a Modern Warfare video game. So he has the wherewithal to drive from Nevada here for a few days, right? Stop, sleep, and eat, refuel. Gets to Manhattan, double parks his car, walks across the sidewalk into the building. Now, the sidewalk is pretty big. You had cameras, a security system, Blackstone. A lot of these security systems, guys, downtown New York, have the ability to identify weapons. Damn near all of them do. So now he gets out of his car, double parks, he gets out of his car, walks across the sidewalk, lawn kind of deal, and is spotted on camera with the rifle. When the weapon gets picked up on a security system, there's an alert system that goes off in a building, notifying people that somebody's approaching the building with a weapon. He somehow gets inside of the building and takes out a New York City police officer and a security officer, head security officer, if I'm not mistaken, of Blackstone. Or the building, rather, excuse me. To my knowledge, neither the cop or security officer got any shots off. So he takes out the NYPD officer, the security officer, and then takes out one of the most important women in the building, who was Wesley LaPartner, if I said her name right. She was in charge of a $53 billion real estate fund for Blackstone. He proceeds to go to the elevator, lets a lady go who's not on his target list. She gets out of the elevator. He gets on the elevator. He goes up the elevator bank, gets off, and then when you get off, guys, any of these buildings, the company name is dead set in front of you or on a wall as you exit the elevator. Their name's going to be somewhere on there representing that company. Clearly says Blackstone. Whether it's going to be in front of them or to the left or right, depending on which way that wall is. So now you get off and you see it says Blackstone, and then you start firing rounds. Now, Julia Hyman was supposedly, or reportedly, excuse me, in a safe room, came out of the safe room to make a phone call to the police while he was actively letting rounds go. That doesn't make sense. And then she gets struck by a bullet. So he didn't intend to shoot her. His round just sort of found its way to her as he was blasting through the glass windows that were there in Blackstone's floor. Now, the prevailing theory is that he was looking for the NFL. Those are two totally different businesses. And the NFL was on a lower floor. So they said. I don't know the layout of the building that well. So he meant to go to the NFL and do what? Shoot up the NFL office for not taking care of football players and their CTE. Keep in mind, he had nothing to do with the NFL. They said he was a prospect, but his coach sort of disagrees with that he was an NFL prospect. So again, you have a lot of BS story being told. Now, after he does all of that, he puts a bullet in his chest because he wanted his brain studied for CTE. So now they're trying to push the CTE angle and the NFL angle, when I think the only angle that a lot of people missed was the real estate chick that works for Blackstone, Wesley, the partner. $53 billion fund that she's in charge with. People are asking, well, why would she be the target? She could have gave that position up. Maybe she did. Maybe there was some infighting that they couldn't get around. But nonetheless, the most important person in that building happened to be one person that they nailed. And again, you're looking for the NFL. You get off the elevator, you go, this is not the NFL. Get back on the elevator and look for the NFL floor. But instead, he gets off and just has at it, and then finds an office, not hides, but goes into the office to end his own life. There are a lot of, and again, with CTE, there is that things they do don't make sense because they're confused as it is, but he had enough wherewithal to drive for 3 days to New York. Even if you booked it, even if you did it nonstop, it's 3 days. So for a 3-day journey, he could have changed his mind. He could have been like, what am I doing? He didn't do any of that, which doesn't make sense. Then he writes a shitty note blaming CTE and the NFL. So now we're looking, guys, and they're misdirecting us to look at the NFL and concentrate on the CTE when Blackstone and Wesley LaPartner, I feel, was the target. She had to be. Now, like I said, if there was infighting on that, what we have to pay attention to now is what goes on in Blackstone, who they put in charge of that $53 billion fund, and what spending is starting to be done right after this lady's off. And I can guarantee you within the next couple of weeks, if we pay attention to what Blackstone is buying up or selling, it's going to do directly with real estate, nothing else. I think she was the target. I think everybody was collateral damage. They had to make it look like it was a random incident, but it wasn't. And again, guys, the way the MK Ultra program works, or the Manchurian Candidate program works, is that they have to take other people out to disguise their actual motive. And the motive was this lady and nothing else, but they threw the CTE and the NFL and football in there so that we are all distracted by what's really going on. They had the whole NFL theory that he was there for the NFL when he wasn't. Again, the most important lady in that building was one of the only two people, out of 4 people, she was the 2 people that worked for Blackstone that was murdered. And then again, Julian Hyman was, again, sort of an accident. I mean, he's blasting into the store, he's going to hit somebody. But she wasn't the intended target. The Wesley lady was. It just all feels very too convenient that this lady gets offed, and then after he hits another lady, Hyman, which was the last victim, he then puts a bullet in his chest. A little on the nose for me, a little too suspicious. We have to wait and see where this goes and what develops after that, as far as what develops, meaning what Blackstone does next. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.